really hard with helping individuals to understand what's going on right now in this financial world and how you can position yourself to kind of establish wealth in your family. It's not a scenario where you got to be wealthy and have a lot of money to pivot what's going on right now and position yourself in the next few years to be pretty well off. You guys, I'm Eric Brent, EB Crypto, and my channel is Follow the Money. Let me lower my tone a little bit. I get so excited and passionate about what I do. And if you guys know anything about me, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I think it's very imperative that you do so now, because the information that's getting ready to start coming to you guys is going to be heavy loading, packing information. I'm sitting in the park right now, relaxing a little bit. You know, sometimes you got to take your shoes off. You got to take your shoes off sometime and let your feet hit the earth. Today we're going to talk about the three credit, or the triple A credit, what that means. For the first time in the United States within 100 years, we have lost our triple A credit on all three agencies. This hasn't happened since 1920. Okay? Interesting year though, the 1920s. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because I got something to share with you. I feel like NWA when he say, when Ice Cube say, "Hey Dre, I got something to say." I got something to say about this credit rating. Okay, I got something to say about it. It's a good and a bad. It's it's interesting because I said something last night that I want everybody to really ponder on. Okay? And what I said was, we're heading towards an economy where it's not really going to be based on your education, what you know. It's not going to be based on your degrees. There's certain vital information in this pivotal change of economics that's going to basically define rich and the poor through what you know, the information. Not necessarily education, because a lot of people are educated, but they got a lot of mumbo jumbo education, and they got a lot of education in areas that's not really going to benefit them right now. I did a video years ago, and I showed uh, Peter Schiff, and Peter Schiff went around talking to several individuals, and he went to several individuals, like a bouncer at a strip club, strippers. He talked to Uber drivers. He talked to bartenders. Every last one of these individuals had a BA or a master's degree. And in this economy, it's just not going to help you. A BA is kind of like nothing. I think that a person with 1 million followers on YouTube or 1 million followers on Instagram, in my opinion, that's more valuable than a BA today, if you know how to monetize that. If you know how to monetize your audience, I mean, let's do a number game. Let's do a number game here. If you have, and I don't want to get too far off the point. I'm making some points here that's going to add up to this AAA credit rating. What does it mean? Most people don't even know what it means. But right now, I'm gonna close this point here. If you had 1 million, 2 million, 3 million people on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, if you know how to monetize those people, and you have some kind of product that you're endorsing, or you get a couple of sponsors, that really represents more leverage economically for you and your family than a BA. Think about that. This is where we've come as far as economics right now. Economics, the dynamics of economics have changed. The way people make money has changed. Okay? So, back to what I'm saying is it's not the new economy is not going to be based on your education and your degrees. It's going to be based on the information that you have, the right information at the right time, used the right way with the right group of people can catapult your behind into a very, very wealthy position right now. Okay, I'm not going to go too much deeper into that. That's for another video. Right now, today, we're talking about that AAA credit. Now, again, I heard a couple of years ago we lost our AAA credit status, but that was only with one rating. Okay, you got 3 different ratings. And I'm going to say this again. For the first time in 100 years, America has lost its AAA credit status with all 3 agencies. I'm not talking about Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. No, that's personal credit. We're talking about global credit rating with Fitch, S&P 500, and Moody. I'm going to say that again. These are the 3 credit agencies globally. Okay? We're talking global. You got to remember, America has the number 1, or had the number 1, with the exception of the Kuwaiti dollar now, and it goes back and forth with the euro. But America's dollar is probably the hegemony, has dominance in the world. When China buys food, China, 40% of their food, 40% of Chinese food is imported. And when they buy food, they need US dollars. Most of your trade around the world is predicated on US dollars. Okay? This is very important that you understand because, I travel the world. I've been to, thank God, I've traveled. I had a military dad, and so he instilled in us the principles of traveling. What I didn't learn in school is the dollar is so dominant around the world. I didn't learn this in school. But when I went outside of the country, the first time I went outside the country, of course, was Mexico. I'm in California. So the first time I went out the country was Mexico. And when I went to Mexico years ago, back in the, 80s, I went to Tijuana, and we bought leather jackets and we bought gold very, very, very cheap because the US dollar was so powerful. That was my first encounter with, I didn't really understand. I just thought everything was cheap in Mexico. I was young. I didn't have an understanding of the power of the dollar. If this was taught in school, then once we travel, understanding this, we would be able to leverage that better. And I think this should be taught in school. The hegemony, the power, the dominance of the US dollar around the world. Okay? So we find these things out when we travel. It's kind of too late when you travel. You should know this before you travel because preparation is the best demonstration or execution of information. Preparation. You have to know and then you move. But if you just move and then you find out later, that's kind of a reactionary strategy, which is not as powerful as a preparatory or preparating or a strategic, type of planning. When you for or prepare something prior, But again, like I said, that AAA status has changed on all 3 credit ratings. Now, that leads me to my subject. Each one, teach one, help one. I said that to say this. The US dollar is in trouble. The US dollar, the hegemony, the dominancy of our dollar is in trouble. And you need to find out what you need to be doing and getting the information you need that will not negatively affect your family, because we're going to all be negatively affected if we don't move in a different way. Okay? If we don't understand certain things. This is why I'm now, and I'm going to keep saying this every day, taking 10 special students this month. And the price that I'm going to give you guys, I'm never going to get this price up again. You're getting about 80 to 90% discount. Never going to do this again. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm so passionate about teaching you guys about blockchain, about crypto, about how this industry is surpassing every other economic industry. I'm going to give you the numbers right now. First of all, cryptocurrency in general, not just Bitcoin, there's over 2 million cryptocurrencies. I don't want people to just focus it on Bitcoin because Bitcoin is kind of like the grandfather, but there's more profit in other altcoins. And this is the things I'm going to teach you in your personal training with me. You're going to have a one-on-one. I'm doing one-on-one with people. One-on-one. That's the best type of information you can get from somebody is when you have their time. Okay, this shows you how passionate I am about these 10 special students. Okay, I got 2 last night, so I only got room really for 8 more, but I'm taking 10 special students this month, and I'm going to personally impart with them elite information on how they can win within the next year, 2 years, 3 years. They're gonna position themselves really well to be in a position to explode economically. Okay, this is what I'm going to teach you guys. Cryptocurrency is so massive right now. Let me say this. I'm gonna give you the numbers. All this talk is talk. Let me give you the numbers. Cryptocurrency did in the last 10 years. We're not gonna even do 10 years. Let's do 4 years. Let's do the last 4 years. It did 67% increase every year in the last 4 years. In the last 10 years, it did 100% every year. There's nothing out there doing that. There's no investment out there doing that. None. Okay, now let's go to the S&P 500. Let's go to hedge funds. In order to do a hedge fund, you got to have mega bucks. You got to be a quote unquote investor status. It's really hard to invest in a hedge fund. You have to really be someone special or someone with a lot of money. We're not talking about a lot of money. We're talking about pennies. We're talking about $100, $200, $300, and you have access at this kind of percentage. Hedge funds do in the last 4 years about I think it did 8% in the last 4 years, every year, annually, about 8%. Listen to these numbers. I can't make this stuff up. This stuff can be you can actually AI this stuff. You can Google this information. I'm not speaking out the side of my neck. Okay? Say this one more time. Cryptocurrency, all the news that you guys hear, oh, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's long term, widen your scope. In the last 10 years, crypto did 100% every year. Damn. It did 100% every year in the last 10 years. It does in the last 4 years, 67% per year. Nothing out there is performing like that. The S&P 500, the hedge fund guys, these guys like Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio is one of the top hedge fund guys. BlackRock, these guys are the top hedge fund guys. You got to have $100 million to even entertain them, period. To get, 8, 9%, 10% a year. That's crazy. You got to have mega bucks to get in those type of investments. Okay, I think Ray Dalio did like 20% the last 4 years. 20%. But he hasn't taken a client in 10 years. Okay, so good luck with that. Okay, I'm offering you guys an opportunity to learn how to increase your money 67, 70 to 100% a year. That's unheard of. But when you talk to people in crypto, most people don't know how to do that. They say, oh my God, I got a crypto, I lost my money. Yeah, because you don't know what you're doing. I'm an expert. I've been in this over almost 10 years now. Crypto is only like 12 or 13 years old, so I'm pretty much an expert. Okay, so let me say this, plus my background, I'm an expert in valuation. I did commercial appraisals, I did residential appraisals, I did businesses, I appraised golf courses, I told the banks and private investors what these different investments were worth. So I have a special eye for value, okay? Now, let me calm down. I get so excited because I'm really passionate about giving you guys this information, because right now we're living in a time where average people need this information. Average people need this information. Let me do the numbers again. Okay? Hedge funds do about 8% a year. Okay? No, S&P 500, excuse me. S&P 500 does about 8% a year. And hedge fund companies, they try to beat that every year. They try to beat it by 2 or 3 points try to do 12, 13% a year, and they have been not successful in doing that. Most of them have not been successful. Most of them have not been successful in doing that. Okay? Now, the NASDAQ does about 16% a year in the last 4 years. Cryptocurrency done 67% in the last 4 years every year, and in the last 10 years, 100% every year. Damn. Nothing out there is beating that. I just recently talked to an individual that did put $40,000 in a CD in the bank, and they thought, "Oh my God, we winning. We winning 40. We got a CD." And this is what you know. They don't teach you this stuff in school, so all you know is what the banks present to you. The banks are not your friend. Trust me. So the banks offer you like 1% a year, lock your money up for 5 years. Let's say you lock up $40,000. You get 1% a year. Man, inflation is like 6% a year. And guess what? When they calculate inflation, they don't even calculate the price of food in that calculation. Go figure. How is it that food, the thing we all need every day, is not calculated in the inflation calculation? That's come on now. That's a trick right there. Let me read some of these comments. Somebody said, lies, show the proof. I don't have to show the proof. Go do your own research, bro. You've got to Google, you got your own fingers. I don't have to lie. These are numbers that crypto done. Just think about this. Okay, let me just tell you. If somebody's saying I'm lying, okay, I got in crypto in 2016. Bitcoin was $250 a Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin is $100 and something thousand. Do the math, bro. Do the math. I don't have to make this stuff up. I can't make this stuff up. When you're giving statistics, when you're doing mathematics, math is the only subject that checks out itself. You don't have to even ask your teacher with math. You can do your own mathematical equation, and it's either going to be right or wrong. Let's do the math. $250 Bitcoin was in 2016. This is 2025. It's $100,000 and some change for one Bitcoin. Do the math. I was buying Ethereum at $6 a coin. You can't touch one Ethereum for under $2,000 right now. And it went as high as $4,000. Do the math. Long term, it is what it is. I don't have to lie. I'm not here to lie to you guys. I don't need you guys to sit here and lie. No, it's not. That's not what this is. These are facts. And the media is not going to tell you this because BlackRock, Vanguard, Fidelity, the big boys now are in this. Why do you think BlackRock is spending billions of dollars now on cryptocurrency? Why do you think BlackRock now is teaming up with Solana? Why do you think BlackRock now has over $17 billion worth of Bitcoin? Larry Fink is no joke. BlackRock is a $12 trillion hedge fund. Think about that. Their investment portfolio is larger than most countries' GDP, with the exception of Japan, I think, in America. But and I think Britain. But most of the countries on the planet, I think BlackRock comes in like third or fourth as far as their portfolio in equivalency to countries' gross domestic product. Think about that. And BlackRock is buying Bitcoin. So if anybody's sitting here going, I'm lying, show the proof, just go get off the call, bro. And this ain't for you, because you in your feelings. You're not looking at the statistics. You're not looking at the pure, unadulterated mathematics. I'm a mathematic guy. I go by the math. All that hype and all that stuff there, I don't go by nothing but numbers, pure numbers. Okay, and if you do the math, crypto has done over 100,000%. All the people that talk bad about it, Jamie Dimon, the Wolf of Wall Street, even Larry Fink, all these people talk bad about crypto. I can pull up statements that all these people 10 years ago were saying, oh, it's a Ponzi scheme, Bitcoin is imaginary money, it doesn't work. Every one of them persons that talk bad is now investing. That should tell you something right there. I don't have to convince nobody. I don't have to convince nobody. I know what I'm doing. I lived outside the country for 4 years on my Bitcoin. I lived outside the country, didn't even speak the language, and lived like a king in Dominican Republic. Go follow some of my videos. Go look at some of my videos 3-4 years back. I was in Dominican. So the proof is in the pudding. Back to the lecture at hand. I'm not going to worry about the naysayers because, they were saying Bitcoin wasn't real, it was Ponzi scheme, all this stuff was going on, and we seeing Bitcoin right now leading the pack. Not just Bitcoin, cryptocurrency in general is leading the pack in investments. Nothing on the planet is outperforming that. Not the S&P 500, not NASDAQ, none of that is outperforming cryptocurrency. Okay, enough said. I made my point. Somebody said, what up, brother? Who is that? Miami. What up, brother? I've been following you for years. They all have leads how to find. Yeah. I'm going to get with you, my brother. Somebody else said, I've been following you for years. I've invested in OneCoin back in the days. Hey, that was my first joint. My first joint was OneCoin. I didn't know anything about crypto. I got in OneCoin. That was my first venture in OneCoin. And come to find out, the lady was highly educated, Dr. Ruja Ignatova. And right now, this lady, she was had a master's degree. She was a lawyer in finance. She worked for I think it was one of the top investor banks in the world. And she started a network marketing company with crypto. Nobody knew what crypto was. And her network marketing company actually was the #1 company in the world. And she had the 10 top earners in the world was in her company. But the only problem with her company is she was trying to make cryptocurrency this centralized thing. And that's really not what crypto is about. They ended up shutting down her company because she made too much money for too much people too quick. And she didn't have a real cryptocurrency, but she had a real network marketing company. And what was very impressive about her company, she made $1 billion faster than anybody in the world. Okay? Right now, I think Groupons did it in 2.5 years, made $1 billion. $1 billion is a big deal. I think Microsoft did it in 7 years. She did it in 1 year. And she made over $15 billion with her network marketing company. She had a great network marketing protocol. Nobody got scammed out of that. But the only problem that she had was she had a digital coin. She didn't really have a cryptocurrency coin. And it took me a while to find that out and understand that. And once I understood that, by that time, they were going after her for tax evasion, all kind of different, because she was using so many different bank accounts. The banks kept shutting down her accounts because it was too much money coming in. But that also taught me something, that crypto and network marketing actually goes together, because most people don't really understand crypto and blockchain. So the best way to market it is mouth to mouth, word of mouth. Someone teaching, like I'm teaching you guys, each one teach one, help one. That's the best way. It's not like a product you can just put on the shelf and people will buy. You have to explain the dynamics of how it works and the functionality and the undergirding principle of each crypto, which is blockchain technology. And you also have to explain to people that crypto is something that's just not like you can just make, because every crypto is made, of course, is created, it's coding, but every crypto is created with a set number of cryptocurrency. Like, for instance, Bitcoin, only 21 million of them, that's it. But back to this credit rating and back to this AAA credit. 1920s, let's go back to the last time this happened, the 1920s. The 1920s, what did that represent for us? In the 19, I like that better, yeah. In the 1920s, that was the last time America lost its AAA credit with all three agencies. I'm not talking about Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. No, that's personal credit. We're talking about global credit, okay? Moody, Fitch, and S&P. These are the three global rating. Okay. Now, I don't know how long ago it was, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I heard we lost our AAA credit rating, but that was just with one agency. That was just with one agency. Now we've lost our AAA credit with all three agencies. What does that mean for you? Oh, okay, whatever. We just lost our credit rating. I don't care. That don't mean nothing. That means something for you with your credit card debt. That means something for you with your home mortgages. That means something for you with your car loans. All of these different loans now, and the interest will start going up at a time when you're already losing value on your dollar and inflation is going up. This is why I'm taking these 10 students and I'm opening back up my classes, which I have taught over 600 people right now, as of today, since the time I've been doing crypto. Quite a few of them are very successful in crypto. One of my students right now does nothing but go around and teach wealthy people, because there's a lot of wealthy people with a lot of money, but they don't understand crypto. And they would like to invest, but they don't have a clue. So that's the main problem. Okay, I told you guys, 67% a year. Nothing is outperforming that in crypto over the last 4 years, okay? We just did a 4-year projection. 10 years, it did 100% a year. But S&P 500 has done about 8% a year. And like I said, these hedge funds, all these hedge funds try to outperform that to do 12, 13, 14% a year. They try to outperform it. Most of them have not been successful. Then you have the NASDAQ that does 16% a year. Again, nothing has outperformed cryptocurrency. This is why all the big boys are here. And this is why I'm saying, and I have been saying for years, go watch my videos, this is going to be one of the greatest exchanges of wealth ever in the history of the world, because cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology has the ability to disrupt the whole economic world. Disruption doesn't mean destroy. It means to redistribute, okay? It means to exchange hands. Wealth is never destroyed. Wealth only exchanges hands, okay? So I made this point yesterday when I talked about the blockbusters and I talked about the hotel industry, that was disrupted by, as we know, Airbnb. That app disrupted the hotel industry. That disruption, that money never left the hotel industry. It just exchanged hands. Disruption means exchanging and redistribution of wealth from this source to that source. That's all it means. Well, guess what? Money, real estate, attorneys, the movie industry, the record industry, all is about to be disrupted with blockchain technology, and it's going to be a total redistribution of wealth. And this is what I want to teach you guys, how to position yourself to grab some of this wealth. This is what it's about. Most people still have not used crypto for what it's really for, but it's coming with Web3. That's what Web3 is about. And most people are not ready for it because they don't have the knowledge. So this is the negative. This is the positives. 67% in the last 4 years cryptocurrency did. S&P 500 only did 8%. Hedge funds are trying to outperform that with another 4 or 5% a year. Most of them haven't been successful. And NASDAQ does 16% a year. Again, crypto is dwarfing all these other investments, okay? The negative part of that is most people still don't understand it. So they get in these scams and these little things, and they think short term. They put their money in. They see, oh, next money went down 25%. Oh, this money went down 5%. Oh, this money went down 40%. Oh, it's not working. This doesn't work. And I just gave you a 4-year projection, a 10-year projection. If I give you a 5-year and a 2-year projection, everything is up. When you widen your scope and stop thinking immediate gratification and think more delayed gratification, okay? This is how most of your investors think. They look at a 2-year, 3-year, 5-year projection. They don't get in something expecting it to just, boom, give their money back right away. Most things that give you your money right, that offer you an immediate gratification, are scams. That's not how real investment works. So most of you come into this industry with the wrong concept and mindset anyway. That's why I deal with mindset building, mindset training. I deal with understanding real money and how real money works. And I give you guys the dynamics of all these other economic, financial, sophisticated terminologies, and I bring it down to a layman's level where you guys can understand it. So again, I'm offering you guys only 10 students this month. That's it. At the price that you're going to get for these classes is never going to happen again. Trust me. I charge people $3,000-$4,000 for a one-on-one. That's not nowhere. I'm only charging maybe 10% of that. That's for one time. Just for 10 people, I'm going to break the rules because I want average people. I want the people that really need this information to get it. Because again, I have multimillionaires that I work with because I've done a lot of appraisals for these investors. I'm talking about people that buy like 300 unit properties where the income on one of their properties is $70,000 a month. I deal with these kind of people, and they don't understand this industry, but they understand money and they understand returns, and they got time. They can wait a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and they give me, calls. Hey, could you give us the understanding how this works? No problem. I need you to pay me this for my time. No problem. Come on, when can you get with us? I get this all the time. But again, like I said, I get more gratification out of teaching the average guy. I get more gratification and satisfaction from helping, people go from rags to riches. Because those individuals that got 20 properties and 300 unit properties, they're going to be all right. Trust me. They're going to be all right. They're going to be okay. Some of these people I deal with are from generational wealth. Their fathers left them money and their grandfathers left them money. So they're going to be okay. But I can't turn down anyone that wants to know this, because I like to teach people and I like people to understand it, how it really works, and not what they hear on the media or what they're, they don't really get it. You don't really get what I'm telling you. I mean, not saying you don't get it. I'm saying that most people don't get it because it's not available for you. It's not available for you to understand it the way I'm going to break it down, because first of all, hedge fund companies are not going to teach you like this. I saw a couple of hedge fund companies that allow you to invest in crypto, but they don't even, the website looks so boring. The website is boring. The statistics are lacking. They don't give you all the readouts. They don't give you all the information because they don't want you looking at it all the time. They want you dependent on them. They don't want you to understand how I understand. They don't want you to really know the dynamics, okay? Because if you knew all the dynamics of how it works, there's, 15 or 20 different ways to make money with cryptocurrency. They don't want you to know that. They want to manage your money. They want you to just look at it and see like, okay, there's nothing going on here. I'm going to let them handle that. That's what they want. Okay, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm teaching you guys all the dynamics and undergirding principles of how this works. Again, each one, teach one, help one. That's my motto. You hear that? I don't know if you guys have heard that before. Each one, teach one. But they forget to help one. Each one, teach one, help one. So the credit rating hasn't been like this in 100 years, since 1920, where we lost all 3 AAA statuses with all 3 global credit ratings: S&P 500, Fitch, and Moody. Those are the 3 to give you the global credit rating. So America's in like a $37 trillion debt right now. It's really serious right now. Most of you guys don't understand it, but you're feeling it every time you go to the grocery store. You're feeling it every time you go try to purchase something. You go get gas. You're seeing like, dang, things are going up so much, so fast. This is an inflation, which is caused by printing money. But also, when you go get loans now, you're going to feel that in the interest rates. You're going to feel that credit rating being dropped. Okay? The trust level of these agencies are now at a level of 2A and not 3A. So that's going to affect your purchasing. This is why you need to learn other ways to make money to compensate for this imbalance in economics. If not, you're just going to be sucked up. You're going to be sucked down. Okay? Now, back to the 1920s. The interesting thing about what I teach is the duality of the universe. Okay? What does that got to do with investment? What does that got to do with anything? With money? Well, it has everything to do with it. When you understand the machinations of the universe, you kind of understand everything on this planet, everything in life, everything in the laws of nature. Okay, the duality of the universe, what I'm going to say is everywhere there's a negative, there's a positive. Everywhere there's a cause, there's an effect. Everywhere there's an action, there's a reaction. The yin and the yang. This is the whole essence of the universe. That's why you got male and female. That's why you got light and darkness. Everything is duality. So if this is one of the worst economic times ever in the history of the world, it's one of the best economic times in the history of the world too. If you know. If you know. Again, the whole dynamics of poverty and wealthy is going to boil down to those that know and those that don't know. You can have all the education in the world. If you don't know certain things, you're going to be sliding into the abyss and getting sucked down into the vacuum of this economy. Imagine the Titanic sinking. I'm going to use the Titanic as an example of what I'm trying to say economically. When the Titanic started to sink, if you got out the boat in time, that wasn't enough. You had to actually get as far away from the suck or that vacuum effect, that whirlpool that pulled everything in its in its diameter, a certain diameter. It sucked it right down with it. That's just how gravity works. Okay? And so with this economic situation of the AAA status being lost on all three statuses since 1920, it's going to suck a lot of people down with it. The inflation that's happening right now in America is at an all-time high. So why would you put your money in a CD for 5 years and only get 1% a year when inflation is like 4 or 5% a year, plus the 2.5% inflation on food that's not added with inflation rate? So we're looking at 7% a year, you losing in your purchasing power. Oh, but by the way, you're going to get 1% a year. That doesn't even make sense. And then if I have 40,000 in a CD and I decide, man, I'm kind of low on my money, I shouldn't have put all my money in there, I don't have any extra cash, I need to go get 10,000 out of that CD and I'll be okay for my extra little cash on the side. They're going to charge me that 10,000 was locked into a 5-year CD, so they're going to charge me 5 years of the 1% interest that 10,000 was going to make just to get my own money. What? You're going to charge me to get my own money? So that's not a good deal at all. To me, that's just a terrible deal. It's a terrible deal to have a CD. It's an insult. It's an insult of my intelligence. Most people think they're getting a good deal because they don't trust themselves to hold the money. So they rather have the bank hold this money. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's add on top of that. On top of that, they're going to invest your money. They're going to loan your money out to other people at a high interest rate. And they also have traders. Don't think they don't have traders. I met a lady who was responsible for like $300 billion of Chase, and she's a trader. And she was a known trader, and she only traded for Chase. And she was doing like 12% a month. Wow. On $300 billion, you do the math. She was doing 12, 15% a month. And they only giving you 1% a year? And they charging you fees? Get the heck out. That's an insult. I mean, if we want to go to street terminology, you might as well put on a dress and some high heels because you getting pimped for real in every sense of the word. But you don't know. You thinking you're getting a good deal. They pat you on the back and they say, okay, lock your money up with us. You get 1% a year. You'd be better off doing the S&P 500. You'll be better off investing your money in the NASDAQ. You'll be better off just sitting your money in Bitcoin for 5 years. Because guess what? You can pull your money out anytime you want with no fee. You can pull your money out anytime you want without any penalties. And you're getting 67% a year. That is unheard of. And all you got to do is go to CoinMarketCap right now. CoinMarketCap.com. Go to Bitcoin, click Bitcoin, and do all time candlesticks, and let's just do this. Let's just do that. Of course, if you put your money in there for a month, you might lose. If you put your money in there for 2 months, you might lose. But you only lose if you pull your money out. And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I had a gentleman call me back in 2017. Bitcoin went up to 20,000, then it crashed back down to 3,000. And so when it got to 20,000, I think my friend, he bought in at 19,000 or something. He bought in because most of us, we buy the hype, we buy the news. We don't know what we're doing. We just hear the news. Oh my God, Bitcoin's popping, and we jump in. Right now is the best time to get in, but we're going to cover that later. If you buy the hype, he got in at 19,000, and he called me one day. And he said, "Hey, EB," everybody called me EB. He said, "EB, I got in Bitcoin and I lost my money." I said, "Well, how you lose?" He said, "I got in at 19,000 and it went down to like 9,000. I was like, "Okay, well, how'd you lose?" He said, "Man, you don't understand what I'm saying." I got in at 19,000 and it went down to like 9,000. I said, "I understand what you're saying, but I'm still not understanding how you lose." And so he thought I was being facetious, or he thought I was making mockery of his loss. I would never, ever make fun or mockery of a person losing money. Follow me, you guys. Listen to what I'm saying here. So what he did was he got in at 19,000. When it went down to 9,000, he pulled his money out. But Bitcoin is not like stocks. Bitcoin is not like commodities, where if you buy 4 contracts of coffee, you don't own that. You only possess that contract or that product within a certain price range. Once it passed that price range, you got to do a margin call. You got to give up more money if you still want to hold that amount, but you don't own that. So what I'm saying is he had the mindset of stock market. So when it dropped, oh, I better sell. But there's nobody telling you to sell. There's nobody telling you to sell, bro. He had a whole Bitcoin at 19,000. He sold it at 9,000. Why? Nobody's making you sell it. Just sit back and chill and relax, bro. Stop thinking it's this quick, immediate gratification. It's a long-term game, bro. 6 months, a year, 2 years. Just chill. Nobody made him sell his Bitcoin. If he'd have held on to his Bitcoin, how much Bitcoin right now? Let me look at it. 100-something thousand? Let me look at it. I want to just give you the exact number, the date of this video. And that was 2017. He did it. Obviously, he had enough money to buy a $19,000 Bitcoin. Obviously, that wasn't all the money he had. So chill. Take a chill pill. But if you don't know, you don't know. That's why I said everything's going to boil down to those that know and those that don't know. Okay? That's what it's going to boil down to. What's Bitcoin right now? Let me see. Here it is right here. Bitcoin at the time of this video is 103,000. So how did he lose if he sat back and wait? How? How did he lose? Even not today, even 2 years ago, it was 70,000 or 60,000. How would he have lost long term? There's no way. I think Bitcoin passed 50,000 like 6-7 years ago. So 2017, so just he'd have held it on for 2 years, a year, 2 years, he'd have been okay. But he didn't know. This is why I'm training people. It's not just Bitcoin. I know coins right now. There's certain coins right now that's going to make you more in percentage-wise than Bitcoin. They're not 100,000. Don't look at the whole number. Bitcoin's 100,000. If it gets to 200,000, it did 100%. How about I show you how to buy certain coins that's not even a penny yet? I told you guys yesterday, I have 100 million coins that I didn't even spend $2,700 for, but I didn't buy it all at one time. I did $100 here, $100 there, $100 here, and now I got 100 million of these coins that have the potential to go to 10, 20, 30 cents. They're not even a penny yet. Even with 100 million coins, when they get to 1 penny, I got $1 million right there in that one coin. It's a numbers game. It's volume. It's quantity. I'll make more money with that than if I would have took 2,700 and put it in Bitcoin, let it sit, and it did 100%. Now I got 5,000. See that? See that? Versus me having $1 million. So there's other investment opportunities that you don't know about, that you can do as an average person, as a middle class person, as even a working person that only doing $10, $15 a month. It can amass to a huge amount of wealth if you know what you're doing. But it's not this quick come up automatic 3 month, 2 month. No, that's not how it works. Now there are some stories of people that in 4 or 5 months, boom, blew up. Like the Shiba Inu. You guys might have heard about that one. That was a kind of a fluke. Or the Dogecoin, which nobody anticipated Elon Musk buying $3 billion worth of those coins. And I really don't respect what he did, because he bought $3 billion worth of coins. He did a $2 million commercial on the Super Bowl, and everybody went to buy that coin. Then he dumped his coins. See that? He made probably $10 billion or something, and he dumped. Then the price went down. So a lot of people that bought in at the high got stuck. That's kind of unethical, you know. But I'm saying a lot of people made money with him. So this industry is a lot of different ways to make money. I can show you guys how you can get that 67% a year. Plus there's a coin that I know of right now that pays you 38% a year in coins. So not only are you going to get that 67% a year, you're going to get another 38% in coinage. Wow. Because you're staking. So there's so many different ways that I can show you guys. But if you don't know, you don't know. It's easy to do certain things when you know. And it's not easy when you don't know. It's just like me. If I walk into a library right now, I can learn how to do a brain surgery if I know what books to get. But if I don't know what books to get inside that library, I don't know, right? So everything you want to know is in a book. But when you go in that library, if you don't know what to look for, then of course you're not going to find it. But it's the same thing in any other venture. If you know, you know. If you don't know, it's hard if you don't know. But once you learn, and I start training you guys how to do certain things, you can go from $100 a month, couple $100 a week, to amassing a huge amount of wealth. It can be done in this industry. I've seen it time and time again. It's not hard when you know. It's only hard if you don't know. Okay? So that's why I'm opening up for 10 special students right now. Contact me. I left a link on this video. Go underneath this video. There's a link. Hit that link. Give me your email. I'll contact you and get you in this one-on-one training immediately. You need this information because let's say you had to wait 2 years to become a millionaire. I don't want to exaggerate. Let's say you made $1 million. Let's say you made $500,000. I'm trying to be very conservative here. Let's say you made $500,000 in 2 years' time. Would you think that's okay? Would you think that's okay if you made $2 million? If you made like $500,000 in 2 years, it took you 2 years to make $500,000, and you only did like a couple $1,000s, and you didn't do it all at once. You did a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there, and just let it sit. Do you think in 2 years, 500,000 is a nice little investment? Yes. I would think so, because most people have never seen $200,000 at one time. Most people have never seen $1 million at one time. I don't know what your capabilities is. I don't know how serious you guys are about learning, and I don't know how serious you guys are about understanding and getting yourself in position. But I'm telling you, sky is the limit in this industry. There's a lot of people that I've met in these conventions. I've been to conventions in Santo Domingo and Punta Cana. I've been to Las Vegas, Los Angeles. I've been to a lot of different cryptocurrency conventions. Acapulco, Mexico. And I've literally met people that was multi-millionaires just on cryptocurrency. And they were so laid back, you would never know it. You would never know it. Matter of fact, I know a group of guys right now that moved to Puerto Rico. They got so much money in crypto. I know a group of guys right now, white, black, Mexican, just different various ethnicities that have been in the cryptocurrency space that I know. They moved to Puerto Rico. Why? Because Puerto Rico has no taxes. They got so much money now. I'm talking about these guys got like 50 million, 30 million, 20 million, 10 million. I met them. And they made this money in crypto. If crypto went from if Bitcoin went from $200, that's just one coin. It's over 2 million coins. Went from $200 to 100,000 for one coin. Just think, $200. Let's say somebody bought 10 coins and sat on them and didn't do nothing. They got $1 million right now. So this is not unattainable. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to blow it out of proportion. I don't want people to think, they're just gonna come in this and make a whole bunch of money real quick. No, but I'm saying with the right information, the right group of people, the right guidance, the right instructions, understanding how to calculate the right coins that have the right functionality, because some of these coins have different functionalities. But this functionality, this technology is needed in the world. Anything that you purchase that's needed, that there's a demand for, and the supply is limited, is going to have value. It's just that simple. That's how value works. Supply and demand. Anything that has demand and the supply is limited, as the more demand grows, the price grows. Because you can't grow the supply. You can grow the demand, but you can't grow the supply in crypto. There's a set number in every cryptocurrency protocol. Every blockchain, there's a set number of cryptos. For instance, there's a set number of Ethereum. There's a set number of Bitcoin, 21 million. There's a set number of Postchain. I think it's 142 trillion. But they got to burn all the time. They burning coins. Every time you do transactions, I think like 10% of the fee of the coins are being burned. There's constant burns in some of these coins. It's called deflationary coins. I'm going to teach you guys all of that. Not inflation, deflation. So when you have a deflation of supply and an increase of demand, wow, it's simple. It's not this extravagant economic elaboration that they try to give you guys. Christine Legrand, what's her name? Legrand, the president of the Economic Central Bank, or the EU Central Bank, Legrand, the former president of the Federal Reserve. These people use economic terminology that loses you guys, and they do it on purpose. So you don't understand economics. I give you guys this stuff on the layman's level so you can understand what's going on in the world and capitalize and position yourself. They don't want the little guys to position themselves. They want to only benefit the big guys, the mega corporations and the mega hedge fund people. See? When the economies crash, the mega hedge funds and the banks make a lot of money. They like crashes because they know how to position themselves. It doesn't matter what happens in the world, good or bad, you can always position yourself. I'm going to close and prove my point. I'm going to prove my point. In 1920 was the last time we lost all three AAA and all three credit agencies, Moody, Frisk, and S&P. 1920. Look at what happened in the 1920s. That's when the stock market took off. They call it the Roaring 20s. They created all this stock market activity. Average people was making a killing on the stock market. Stock market started going up. They allowed average people to get into the stock market. And people were buying stocks, and stocks just started flying off the shelf. People were putting like a couple $100 and becoming millionaires. Go look at what I'm telling you. Don't take my word for it. There were so many millionaires, average people that made millions. This is why they called it the Roaring 20s. Throughout the whole 20s, average people was doing $50, $25, $30 and becoming millionaires on the stock market. Don't take my word for it. Go Google and look up and do AI. I do a lot of searching on AI. The stock market and the boom of the stock market for average people. This is what I want you to search. The boom of the stock market for average people in the 1920s. And you're going to see thousands and thousands of millionaires was made in the United States in the 20s in the stock market. So at the same time, again, the negative, it was a positive. The yin and the yang. The cause, the effect. You understand? So although we in this time again of inflation, hyperinflation is finna take off. Inflation, we ain't got the hyperinflation yet, but inflation is taking off. Credit rating is dropping. But it represents one of the worst economic times for some individuals ever in the history of the global economics, but it also represents one of the greatest exchanges of wealth for those that know ever in the history of the world. It all depends on what you know. That's where I come in at, to pivot you and position you to catch the wave for the greatest exchange of wealth ever in the history of the world. That's what's going on right now. And you have to get equipped with the knowledge. So I'm taking 10 students. Again, I'm going to keep saying this every day because I might take more than 10. But right now, at this price, it's only going to be 10. One-on-one. You're going to have one-on-one with me, and you're going to have a lifetime contract with me where you can call me and say, hey, Eric, I'm looking at this company here. What you think about this? I don't know, man. That's a scam. Let me show you. I'm going to show you that's a scam. Don't put your money in that. I'm not going to control your money. I don't want to control your money. I'm just going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to show you how people are making money on certain things, and you're going to be in control 100% of your own money. You're going to control your no bank, not no broker, not no nobody. You're not going to need none of that. You're going to be totally in control of all of your own assets. That's powerful, okay? But only thing I'm going to do is train you and teach you into the right mindset, the right concept, the right methodology, the right understanding of how this stuff really works, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. Again, like I said, we lost our AAA credit status. It's gone with all three agencies. And the last time this happened is 1920. But in the 1920s, on the positive side, there was more millionaires made in the stock market with $100, with $20, with $50, with $30. There was more multimillionaires made than ever in the history of this country. Check what I'm saying. Go check it. So again, there's a duality of the universe. This is the rule of the universe. This is a universal rule. That's why I teach my children universal laws. It's cool to teach them man laws. They have to know the laws of the land they live in and all that. But I teach my children universal laws. And this is a universal law. Whenever there's a bad thing happen, the multimillionaires and billionaires and hedge funds and banks and financial institutions find a way to pivot off of that and make it benefit them. And this is what I want to train you guys to do in this industry. So with that, again, if you guys are interested in being one of my students, I'm only taking 10 students this month, personal students, one-on-one, give you guys the training you're going to need in this type of economy to thrive and to prosper. I'm going to give you those keys. Go ahead and grab that link under there, contact me, and I'm going to see you guys later on today. I think I'll do another video today. I want to talk about later on today, was Bitcoin created by the CIA? There's a lot of speculation on that. We're going to go into detail on that today. And I got some information I want to share with you about that. Was it created by the government, the CIA, or what? Nobody really knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. He never revealed himself. But we're going to deal with those facts today. I deal with facts. I don't deal with, propaganda. I don't deal with fake news. I don't deal with assumptions, opinions. I'm going to deal with the facts today. So this is EB Crypto, Eric Brent, Family Cash Machine, follow the money. See you guys on the next video. Deuces. Have a great day.